Ladies and gentlemen, we held lengthy talks today with my colleague Jean-Claude Gacosso and the President of the Republic of the Congo, Mr. Sassou Nguesso. We marked the sign, the physical fact of the restoration of diplomatic relations in the 1960s. This happened in March 1964, and since then our relations have been based on the friendship between the peoples of Russia and the Republic of the Congo, on the principles of mutual respect and mutual benefit. We do not have a very active, multifaceted political dialogue. Last year, President Sassou Nguesso attended. Africa met with President Putin separately at the second Russian summit in St. Petersburg. Today we reviewed the timetable for upcoming contacts, including at the highest and highest levels, confirmed the need for the most thorough preparations for the next meeting of the Intergovernmental Committee on Economic and Trade Cooperation to be held in Moscow this year, and identified specific areas priority will be given to these issues in the preparations for the meeting. We will continue to strengthen military and military technical cooperation. The President and the NGS confirmed this in order to strengthen the defense capabilities of the Republic of the Congo and are actively developing cooperation in the humanitarian field. Every year we provide 250 scholarships to Congolese students at the expense of the government of the Russian Federation. This is one of the highest rates in Africa. I would like to thank the Congolese leaders for their support for the activities of the Russian Cultural Center. In the Congo, it also actively supports Russian language courses, which are in great demand from citizens of the Republic. Cooperation in the field of health is on the rise. In the near future, a joint Russian-Congolese laboratory for the detection and prevention of infectious diseases will be established here in Congo. Our positions on most international and regional issues are the same. The Republic of the Congo is a co-sponsor. We have adopted a number of draft resolutions in the United Nations General Assembly and have traditionally supported other initiatives. We support the approach promoted by the Republic of the Congo in multilateral forums. We note today in particular the important role played by the President of the Republic of the Congo as Chairman of the African Union High-Level Committee on Libya. We support the proposals put forward by the President of the Republic of the Congo in his own context. We have talked about the situation in other parts of the African continent, including the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Sahara region, and we have talked about the situation in other parts of the African continent, and we have talked about the situation in the African continent, and we have talked about the situation in the African continent. Russia's West Africa has consistently advocated all these crisis situations. The solution is mainly based on the opinions and initiatives of Africans themselves, and the international community and external actors must help implement these African approaches. We agreed to continue our coordination at the United Nations, where the Russian Federation and the Republic of the Congo stand for respect for all the principles of the Charter of the United Nations in their entirety and interrelatedness. They are selected from the case. We value objective balance. The position of the Republic of the Congo on the events related to Ukraine. Our actions have been understood by President Sassou Nguesso, who favors a just solution, taking into account, as we emphasize, the current reality. Well, I'll end up pointing out, we have good inter-party contacts between the United Russia Party and the Congolese Labour Party. In February, representatives of the Congo attended a conference convened by United Russia to combat modern evasion. As a result of this conference, the International Movement for National Freedom was established. So we have another track of interaction this time.
конференции создано международное движение за свободу наций, так что у нас появился еще один трек взаимодействия, на этот раз
On a cross-party basis, I would like to thank my colleague and friend, the Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Congo, for his hospitality. I invited Jean-Claude to visit the Russian Federation, and now it's his turn to come to us. He said he would come.
Российскую Федерацию, теперь его очередь к нам приезжать. Он сказал, что обязательно приедет. Правильно?
That's right.
Sergei Viktorovich Olga Yakovleva. The postscript of the center, please tell me, has the WO discussed it?
Time is getting closer, microphone, please.
Have you discussed your question? During negotiations on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, what is Congo's position on Ukraine, whether Congo agrees with Russia's position, and whether it plans to participate in the upcoming peace summit in Switzerland? And two, briefly, foreign media reported that it will send French instructors to Ukraine soon. What if the Russian Foreign Ministry sent a message to Paris on this?
Есть ли послание российского МИД Парижу по этому поводу?
Что касается украинской темы,
Well, as for the Ukraine topic, as I said in the opening remarks, please sit down.
что касается украинской темы, как
As for the topic of Ukraine, as I looked for in my opening remarks, we touched on it.
коснулись, и позиция
And President Sassou Nguesso's position is fair and honest, in my opinion.
справедливая и честная. Он проявил, как
He showed it, just like our predecessors.
встречи и его
His meeting with President Putin.
Путиным понимание
Understanding our position is mainly understanding the reasons for doing so without any choice.
альтернативное проведение нами
In carrying out our special military operation, he also fully understands that Ukraine is a tool in the hands of the West, which wants to use its own statements to bring strategic failure to the Russian Federation, and the President of the Republic of the Congo believes that the only way to solve this problem is directly honest dialogue between Russia and the West.
этой проблемы является прямой, честный диалог между Россией и Западом, прежде всего Соединенными Штатами, на
First,
основе
based on the recognition and causes of the conflict and the current reality
сложившихся сейчас
with the United States. We have confirmed that in these realities, it is certainly necessary to consider the expression of will.
волеизъявления Донбасса и Новороссии.
Donbass and New Russia, residents of Donbass and New Russia. Of course, these realities must be taken into account.
Острейшую проблему с
The West categorically does not want to notice the most serious problem of Russian language discrimination in Ukraine itself, the law passed by the Kiev regime. First under Poroshenko, now under Zelensky, the use of Russian is banned in all conceivable areas of social life, and the West does not want to notice the laws passed in Ukraine.
использование русского языка во всех мыслимых сферах жизни общества. Равно как не хочет Запад замечать принятые на Украине законы и действия украинского
And
руководства,
the actions of Ukrainian leaders to glorify Nazi criminals, especially Bandera and Shukevich, whose birthdays were declared national holidays, in gross contempt of the Nuremberg Tribunal's verdict. This means that, at least at this stage, the West wants to have such a Nazi Ukraine as a constant threat to our influence in the Russian Federation.
нацистскую Украину в качестве постоянной угрозы для Российской Федерации, для нашего влияния на тех землях, которые
On lands that
основывались
the basis of the roasting. The Russian people have been trying for centuries. President Sassou Nguesso, like the vast majority of world leaders, including the People's Republic of China, India, Brazil, and South Africa, believes that any negotiations without the participation of the Russian Federation and the Swiss Conference are meaningless. Of course, we have said this more than once, and all objective politicians understand this.
конференция в Швейцарии, конечно же, мы это не раз говорили, и все это понимают, все объективные политики, не имеет никакого смысла
It doesn't make any sense except to try to hold on.
пытаться удержать разваливающийся
Fucking anti-Russian bloc.
Что касается
As for the French instructors, I have reason to believe that there are many concrete facts in this regard, that they are already working in Ukraine. They are not listed as members of the French armed forces, or they are just mercenaries. They are an absolutely legitimate target for our armed forces. Our grades are well known. Current The tragic situation of the Libyan people is man-made and
рукотворна. И начались эти беды в
these troubles began in 2011, when the West, mainly the European members of NATO, with the support of the Obama administration, destroyed Libya's statehood in violation of all norms of international law, including the relevant Security Council resolutions on the Libyan solution. Remember how Libyans lived under Muammar Gaddafi?
Вспомните, как ливийцы жили при Муаммаре Каддафи. Западу не нравилось.
The West doesn't like that they live well, but without any Western democracy, they just destroy this country, destroy it.
Они эту страну просто разрушили. А самого Каддафи уничтожили.
But Gaddafi himself was destroyed by the same West.
Запад сотворил с Ираком,
Turned into cancer,
где, как и в Афганистане,
as in Afghanistan, after Western intervention and the imposition of Western-style democracy, problems that have not been completely resolved have begun and sometimes even deepened. Valeria, the main task now is to make sure everything. I would like to emphasize that all political forces, without exception, have united and developed a common approach. I am now preparing my country for the new state-building approach, which I understand is being promoted by the African Union and President Sassou Nguesso himself as chairman of the high-level committee on the Libyan settlement. We will use our contacts with the various Libyan forces to unite them on this platform. If you could say 2 words, while Jean-Claude was answering, there was a message that Scott Ritter.
Пока Жан-Клод отвечал, пришло сообщение о том, что Скотт Риттер будет обращаться в суд в связи с нарушением.
Will go to court for violations of his constitutional rights and will continue to seek the exercise of his right to travel.
Ездить в те страны, куда он хочет.
Those countries where he wants your piggy bank on the plane that flew to Russia were also removed by former Supreme Court Justice S.H.A. Andrew Napolitano. And while I was answering you, another piece of news came from the French embassy in Moscow, where posters appeared calling on the French army to surrender. But I would like to draw attention to such a systemic problem. Now, the representative asked us a question. AFP and BBC Africa. You work here, you can work in any country, but your colleagues from Russia are banned from almost the entire European Union. And blacklisting journalists and entire institutions continues to draw conclusions. Where is democracy? Where is police state? Where is jailed or not jailed? Where is allowed to say what he wants or she? I am very happy to be in a free country called the Komi Republic. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Merci beaucoup.